What's poppin', y'all? It's looking like the Nicki stans, the Nicki fans, they're not letting up on my homegirl, Megan Thee Stallion. Now, as you guys know, the other day, probably last week, I showed some love to. I didn't show some love. I showed some facts about Megan Thee Stallion. People were coming at her for her European tour getting canceled, saying she couldn't sell tickets. But I said, hey, she had a successful American tour. I saw a lot of happy fans, a lot of packed out tour dates, arena tour. She's got a song right now on the Hot 100 with Glorilla. She's doing her thing. I haven't listened to the album yet. I probably should, but this wasn't even about the album. And I don't even think the album had dropped when I had first recorded that video. However, today, listen, we gave Megan Thee Stallion her props. Now it's time to load up the facts clip, or the facts magazine, whatever these gun nerds want to call it. And we're going to get at her because the truth is the truth. And Megan Thee Stallion, she drops her album Megan, which sells 64,000 first week. And I think a lot of people are used to seeing like 100K plus in the past, right? However, things have changed a lot. 64,000 for Megan Thee Stallion is big numbers. And she doesn't have, does she, hold up, let's do some quick searches. Does she have a really, really big song or a really big hit right now that's on that album? Nah, she would have to have a top 10. She's got Wanna Be, is that on the album? No, she's got no smash hit. She had Cobra, which was already a bunch of streams. And this is her first album with her own label in partnership with Warner Music, but you can see it's Hot Girl Productions. Oh, okay. She had Hiss on there too, but that was already a successful song. That just pushes it to get quote unquote gold quicker. And it had about 48,000 streaming equivalent albums with 15,000 pure album sales, which I wouldn't say it's fishy, but I don't know if she was selling bundles, some packages, whatever the case may be, some physicals, some vinyls, some special box sets. Like I said, I've always been somebody that champions people being able to sell physical albums. I don't care how you do it. If you're able to sell actual copies, you've got some real devoted fans. Congratulations to you on that. But the streaming equivalent albums, 48,000, that's really, really high. For an album like that, a lot of people have to be talking about it. And that wasn't the case. So when I posted on my Instagram a week ago, or no, 2 days ago, I posted and said that Spotify removed 30 million streams from Megan Thee Stallion's album. Keep in mind, they removed these 30 million streams after the sales were reported. So that means she might have done less than 60 million. So if we are to do the math, them removing 30 million streams, assuming these streams are from the US, and it's about 1,500 streams per sale, we would have to do some quick maths. That's about 20,000 units that they just ripped away from Megan Thee Stallion if they were all in the US. So that would knock her down to about 40K. And this adds up. So first, there was a thread, a bunch of people that were Nicki stans and also other pop stans that follow these charts did some research onto this. And one of the tweets that I had on the Instagram, which you should follow me at helloyassine, is by this account, this Ariana Grande account, that said, proof that this album is being botted. Megan Thee Stallion is number 74 on global Spotify. The Neighborhood is number 72. The Neighborhood does 9.3 million streams daily. Without Megan, her songs do 4.1 million streams daily. 9.3 minus 4.1 equals 5.2 million daily. The album is doing 5.2 million filtered, but 11 million non-filtered. They're saying filtered because that's the streams that they're saying. So if she's doing 5.2, they're calculating the overall streams that Megan was doing as an artist. So if they're saying, hey, this person's 2 points above Megan and they're doing 9.3 million streams, and Megan, without her album, she's doing 4.1 across everything else, that means that her album would have to be doing 5.2, which would make sense. But how come it's doing 11? So they're saying, yo, where's the other 6 coming from? And then it says Spotify weekly albums. Number 30 is Megan. Number 32 is Folklore. So Folklore got 39 million streams that week, and Megan got 71 million streams. So Spotify filtered over 30 million streams for Megan, for her to still be at that position. People were also coming at Megan Thee Stallion about botting announcement posts for her album when it was about to drop. And then they go into further detail for Sunday. So it said on the Sunday that Megan's album did 11.7 million. Katy Perry did 8.7 million in total as an artist. So Megan as the artist did below 8.7 million. So how does her album do 11 million, but her total streams was 8 million. So that means 4 million streams got filtered. And then there was a screenshot about how on a Sunday, all of Megan's songs, the only artist, went up 50%. So they have the change in percentage as well. And this is, you can't argue this. And this adds up because it's not small artists using bots. Because if there's somebody that's not so popular and then we see them do 30, 40, 50K, you're like, yo, what's going on here? And it's not just us that's saying that. It's these people that look at these streams that are like, whoa, this artist shouldn't be doing these type of numbers. But if Megan Thee Stallion's doing 40K or is supposed to do 30-something K sales, and then they, boom, bump her up, they're like, throw her some 25K sales. And now she's doing 60-something K. You're like, okay, this adds up. That's not too bad. So you're always mixing the fake/bot streams with someone that's already doing decent streams. Or you're trying to cook the stream. So if they're like, hey, Megan Thee Stallion's the #1 album this week, they're running promotions for that. Now, Megan Thee Stallion looks hot or popping, and she's #3. And, she just beat Billie Eilish's album, which has been in the top 3 for how many weeks? So there are a bunch of angles you could attack this from to start generating a lot more organic attention and people feeling like they missed out on the album because of its commercial performance, which has been enhanced by bots in this case. I don't think Megan Thee Stallion is behind this, but she talks about other people having bots. None of these artists that are really, really big would even know if people are running bots for them. They might know, but they're not the ones orchestrating it. They're not the ones doing it. Now, will that take away from us coming at them? Absolutely not. Megan Thee Stallion botting 30 million streams? That is an outrageous amount. Like I said, that's 20,000 sales or more. However, what we will not do is try to use that to say that Megan Thee Stallion doesn't have a fan base when we just saw her doing all these dates on tour. And this is the problem that I alluded to earlier in this video, where people start coming at album sales and saying, yeah, this person can do 100K. I remember in the A$AP Rocky video I did the other day, someone was saying, yeah, I think A$AP Rocky can do 100K plus. A$AP Rocky's not touching no 100K, I promise you that. He might touch 50 to 60. 100K? Outrageous. Testing did 70-something K. 100K is insane right now. Like, you're an A-tier artist if you're doing 100K plus. 500K, you're like beyond S tier at that point. You're like Drake, Taylor Swift, which I don't even know if Drake could do 500K anymore unless there was a lot of hype behind it. So the problem is you've got, like I said, 30 million streams for an album. That's 20K sales. That's a lot of streams. And keep in mind, those streams have to be in America and they have to be within the week that the album dropped. So for her to sell 60K, and we take away the 15K, which were pure album sales. So 64, let's just do, that's 49 around there. So for her to do 49, that would be, let's see, that's like 70-something million streams. I'm just doing really, really quick guesses. So 70 million streams on a Megan Thee Stallion album in the first week that it releases without a major hit song that's going to carry probably 20 million of those streams in that week. It's absurd. It's just not going to happen. And it's unrealistic for somebody of Megan Thee Stallion's size, which is a pretty big artist. But the fact that she has 30 million streams removed doesn't mean that she doesn't have a solid fan base, because we saw people pulling up to these shows. You can't argue that. So Megan Thee Stallion has a strong fan base. She's just not selling these numbers. And I think a lot of it lies in the perception that people still have that numbers are as easy to get as they were back then, like 5-6 years ago. And I'm willing to bet that 5-6 years ago, there was just a lot more juicing of the numbers happening for people to hit 100K plus. Because you're not getting, let me just do the quick calculation so we have the official numbers. So 100,000, let's say someone's selling 100,000 with streams, nothing else involved. No physical albums, nothing like that. So if we divide that by 1,500, estimate, how many streams would that be? Okay, that would roughly be 150 million US, not Canada, not Mexico, not any other part of the world, 150 million US only streams in the first 7 days of the album dropping. Can you wrap your head around how difficult that would be? Let's say, number one, all the fans need to know that the album dropped. And then let's say they all streamed it 10 times throughout the week, which is a lot. Most fans are not going to listen to an album 10 times in a week. That's like, 10 hours of their time? Maybe 6-7 hours? Really not going to do that, but let's give that to them. So you knock off 10. That means 15 million people in the US had to listen to a Megan Thee Stallion album 10 times. That's not happening. Not in the first week. And how many tickets does she have to sell for her to go on this tour? probably significantly less than $1 million. So the expectations that we have on sales, this is partially why I don't really talk about it as much, and I've reduced the expectations lower, which is why I say even Megan Thee Stallion doing 50K or like 40 something K, that's pretty solid. That's understandable. For her to do 30 something K streaming equivalent and then another 15K to bring her up to 50, that's a solid amount. She's not no Nicki Minaj, man. She doesn't have the fans from 10, 15 plus years ago. I don't think she's in competition with her, or I would not put her in competition with her. Yeah, she came at her, dissed her. I understand why Nicki Minaj fans don't like her and come at her, but that's your problem. I don't need to take that up. So yeah, we need to really, really temper expectations, and we need to constantly be showing people like, hey, this is what it looks like in terms of numbers to get these sales. And the only way you're going to do this is botting, man. Most people don't even know an album dropped the first week that it drops. They probably don't know until the second week, and we're judging it by the first week. So unless you have a crazy rollout, something else, or unless everybody knows who you are, Megan Thee Stallion is not a rapper that everybody in America knows who she is. And they're like, oh, shoot, Megan, I guess I'll just listen to this once. And you need a lot of casual fans to run these numbers. So yeah, 100K, this goes to those people that are talking about A$AP Rocky. You think A$AP Rocky could get 150 million streams in a week on an album? That should let you know. And this is why a lot of the time when you see these albums that do really, really well, they had a single that's carrying it. A really good single, sometimes doing 25 million streams a week in the US. So that is a lot of sales right there. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Still, Megan Thee Stallion's team, man, we've seen them do shady stuff before. Or we've heard of them doing shady stuff before. Not surprised by this. 30 million streams, shame on you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you for watching. Peace.